We've got 3 questions here, so I want to try and answer them for these guys. Now, our first one's from Daryl Crawford, and he asked 2 questions. And his first question is, what is the best way to find big fish in the summer when the water temperatures warm up and they move deep?
I guess to save this becoming a long-winded answer, we'll focus this specifically on Lake Ontario pike. One thing we've noticed over the years, we've actually caught pike in the bays in the spring and in the fall that have lamprey marks on them. Those are generally the bigger fish, and what that leads us to believe is those fish are actually roaming the open waters of Lake Ontario, much like the salmon and trout do, feeding on those big schools of bait fish. Now, in answer to your question with regard to finding them in the bays, because I think to go out on the open lake and try and find them would be almost an impossible task. What I would suggest is fishing deep weed lines. Anywhere you can find some structure, like in the channel over here where we just came down, there's a very nice deep weed line drop off. Follow that weed line along. Use spinnerbaits, cover water quickly. Spinnerbaits can be a great bait in the summertime when the water's a little warmer, and you can get the heavier 1-ounce models now that'll go down deeper. Let those baits flutter down into pockets and just work the water methodically and make sure you cover it. Deep diving crankbaits too, like the shad wraps and so on, can work as well.
Okay.
So that would be my suggestion.
Cool. And let me see what Daryl's second question is. This one, I guess, is more of a specific question for you, Sean, and he asks, do you prefer trolling deeper water or jigging deep water for big fish?
I don't troll for pike generally. Now and again we'll troll along a weed line using the electric, but as a rule I'm casting 99.9% of the time. I've done a little bit of jigging for them. What I'll generally do with regard to more of a jig type bait is I'll have some of those plastic swim baits tied up with a steel leader on it. If I get a follow from a big fish in clear water, I'll often toss that bait back in there and they'll pick that up and work it very slowly along the bottom.
That's a great answer. And then our last one here, Sean, is from Ashley Shaw, and it's another, I think it's a question, for you, and he says, can you ask if they think that the treble hooks are better for piking than singles, or is there room for both in pike fishing?
Definitely room for both. I mean, a spinnerbait essentially has a single hook on it and it works very well. Most of the jerk baits and crankbaits obviously come with treble hooks. I do like to leave them on there. I get the sticky sharp VMC hooks that I use, and those fish generally don't get away. One thing you want to do if you are using a single hook with a pike, or any hook for that matter, is make sure you set the hook hard. They're very bony mouths.
Cool. Well, thanks to Daryl Crawford and Ashley Shaw on GetPike.com. Thanks for sending your answers in, and thanks to Sean for offering up some advice. And beautiful day out here on Lake Ontario, and we're going to get back to fishing.
Thanks, Daryl and Ashley. Hope you have some luck on the water this season.
All right.